As the furore of the Consumer Duty implementation deadline has now passed, you'll be settling into the new normal created by the duty. If you'd been treating customers fairly before the duty took effect, your new normal may not look that much different to your old one. However, the biggest difference is the requirement that you demonstrate that you are delivering good outcomes to retail customers. We've looked before at how you can achieve this and will continue to share information in the future. One of the great things about working with so many different brokers is that we see how firms are innovating, adapting, and implementing new processes to help them meet the requirements, and we'll share these as we come across them. For example, vulnerable customers and the need for you to evidence how you identify and support them. Brokers using OpenGI can make use of the VIP field on the client level to record vulnerability. This makes it much easier to report on vulnerable customers and monitor what actions you are taking to ensure they receive good outcomes. I'm afraid we can't comment on whether this facility is available with other software houses, as we only have direct knowledge of OpenGI. But if you'd like to know more about the VIP dropdown, do please get in touch. We know that you will have seen and heard plenty about things you need to be doing under the duty. But as the dust settles and any new systems and processes start working, we wanted to revisit a few points just to keep them at the top of your agenda. The first one is your Consumer Duty Champion. As we've touched on in previous editions of In the Loop, the duty requires you to appoint one. Ideally, in the FCA's opinion, this will be an independent, non-executive director that will work alongside the chair and CEO to make sure that the duty is being discussed regularly and raised in all relevant conversations. If you don't have any non-exec directors, your champion should be someone at board or equivalent level. The FCA have set out a number of questions that they expect the champion and chair to be asking the board on a regular basis. And these are questions that you could expect to be asked by the FCA, so we've included a list of the questions at the bottom of the PDF accompanying this video. But brief examples include: how does the organisation's culture support the delivery of good outcomes for customers? How does the firm define good outcomes over the short, medium and long term for customers using its products and services? And what data and management information is the firm using to monitor whether products and services continue to meet the needs of the customers and contribute to good consumer outcomes? And how regularly is it reviewing this data, and what action is being taken as a result? Our second reminder is about monitoring and evidence, which, as we've said in the past, is key. As we touched on at the beginning of this edition, being able to evidence your compliance with the duty and that you are monitoring how you are delivering good outcomes is a requirement of the duty. The FCA has made it clear that you should expect at every stage of the regulatory life cycle to be asked to demonstrate how your business model, the actions you have taken, and your culture are focused on delivering good customer outcomes. You can also expect the FCA to request your annual report and other MI, so they can publish data on how firms are meeting the requirements of the duty. They've even said that they may use other tools for supervising the duty, such as requiring a skilled persons review where they have concerns about a firm's approach to the duty. Our next reminder is for fair value. Now, this isn't new, as we've had product governance rules in place for some time. But the FCA has recently conducted an assessment of value across the asset management sector. And yes, we acknowledge that this is obviously a different sector, but there are a number of read-across points that you may want to consider when assessing fair value. The review sheds some light on the FCA's thoughts on value, and these include firms not being totally focused on profitability, instead needing to take into account customers' interests, cutting fees or commission, that there should be regular challenge by independent non-exec directors, or in the case of brokers, the Consumer Duty Champion, that there is too much emphasis being placed on comparable market rates, and that firms are allocating costs to justify their level of income. Quickly expanding on these last 2 points, the FCA firmly believes that just because the whole market is charging XYZ, this doesn't mean that the customer is getting fair value, and this is particularly relevant to the premium finance rates. The other point is allocation of costs. And we're aware that some brokers are justifying high levels of fees and commission because of their distribution costs. The FCA are also aware And their take on it is that if so much of the customer's premiums are going on distribution costs, it's difficult to see how the product is providing value. Our last reminder in this edition is for product governance. As you will recognise by now, the Consumer Duty and your ongoing product governance obligations are closely linked. Don't forget to keep on top of your Prod 4 requirements. Remember that your fair value assessment and product suitability target market reviews must be conducted at least annually. You may already have seen some of the larger insurers and aggregators sending out new questionnaires to be completed. So if you haven't already, make sure that you add your Prod 4 annual review to your compliance to-do list. We'll let you get back to work now, but remember, if your new normal looks just the same as your old normal, something is not quite right.